Hey everybody, Don here again. Well, in my last video, I showed you the modifications we made to the new canoe, the F10 that I bought from my buddy Sam. So we would have a platform that Karen could take Bodie out on. And when we first got it, the center of gravity was just too high, so I showed you all the modifications. Well, when me and Karen go out in the kayaks, I want to paddle too, so I modified the Malone trailer. So we got the new Canoe F10 and the Native Falcon. Did I say Slayer Falcon? Huh, whatever. So we put longer crossbars on there, and that way I could get the saddles up on there, and these things would fit nice and secure. But that left me without a trailer for the Slayer Max. And with this new truck, this thing just sits so high that lifting that thing up onto the tailgate was tough. Yeah, so I was given this old, I think it was a Game Fisher trailer a few years ago from a friend that lived down the street who has since passed away. And here I'll show you in the early stages of what it looked like. So now that I've transformed the Malone trailer into a tandem kayak trailer, this is the next project. This is rebuilding this old trailer frame that was given to me by a guy down the road and turn it into a single kayak trailer for the Slayer. The first thing I did, it had these hubs needed to be rebuilt. The bearings were shot, so I rebuilt the hubs. And then I don't like those little tiny wheels and tires, so I replaced them with these bigger ones, which are the same size as on the Malone. And I've got a new ball coupler coming for the end. This one is 1 7/8, and I wanted to switch it over to 2 inches. Got a jack coming that should be here Monday, and some lights, putting a new set of submersible lights on it. And then I'm going to run several pieces of pressure treated across the trailer and a couple pieces of PVC lengthwise for the kayak to sit on. So hopefully I'll have that project done before the next tournament, because loading that big boy into that beast of a truck is not easy. So here it is, the finished product. I've got one thing left I want to do to it, but let me tell you what we did. So originally it had a 1 7/8 inch ball coupler on it. Everything else I have is 2 inches, so we replaced that, added some safety chains. My neighbor Brett is, who I've told you, is a great fabricator. He did all this for me. He welded that on. He actually made this little handle so I could grab it. I bought one of these jacks, or I guess this is called a kickstand, from E-Trailer. It's the same as on my Malone. I also bought a spare tire and a spare tire carrier that you can lock, also from E-Trailer. I wired it up, painted it, I sanded it down, or let me rephrase that. I took a wire brush to it and knocked most of the rust off it. And then I painted it with that rust reformer, and then painted it black after that. For the kayak cradle, basically I just put 3 cross members out of pressure treated decking. And then I bought this, this is not PVC pipe, this is electrical conduit. It's Schedule 40, but the reason I went with that is I think it's not quite as brittle as regular PVC. And I wanted it to have a little give. So cut some holes, bolted those onto the cross members. And then I got this one giant 90, and I cut that so that when I load this in the water, it just kind of guides the kayak up in there. We added lights, obviously. We put these stand-ups on there just because that truck is so tall. I can't see this trailer at all. So with these on there, I can see where the trailer is behind me. And after the first trip, I took it out last weekend. It ran pretty good. I mean, I was a little concerned because there's this dent in the front that it might be tweaked and it wouldn't run true, but it runs right true behind the truck. After I got back, I decided to add these just to keep the kayak from shifting, because the Slayer, the grooves that run down the Slayer don't run all the way, they flatten out. So it kind of sat on here and did a little bit of side to side. Even though I had it strapped down good, I wasn't really super comfortable with it. But now these saddles catch it right at the widest part, and it ain't going nowhere. And it's much lower, much easier to load the kayak up on, which in the water, I float it on and float it off. Let me put it on here for you. So pretty simple. I mean, you know, it's so much lower and easier. Just slide it up onto that and then come back from the back. Catch this thing so it doesn't roll off, and just run it up on there. It's a little bit wider at the top, so just getting it started is a little bit of a challenge. Now, don't forget to take the wheels off before you smash the tail lights. And I just push it right up to the spare tire. Boom. And you can see those saddles are going to keep it from going anywhere. And I'll strap her down and get ready for the tournament this weekend. Came out great. I'm super happy with the way it came out. And you know, I haven't kayak fished solo at all this year just because it's such a chore getting that up onto the truck with my my repaired rotator cuff. So now I don't have to worry about that. I'll show you the next thing I'm doing. So one of the issues I had loading that thing into the truck was the transducer on this thing for my little Garmin Striker 4 was mounted in the pocket under the hull, but it stuck down below the hull about that much. And at my last tournament, the team tournament on the stump field, I got there early. I was trying to drag the kayak off by myself, and I snapped the transducer, broke it off, and it was hanging down for that whole tournament. So I went that whole tournament without any electronics, which is not a big deal because you don't really need electronics at the stump field. But the tournament I have tomorrow is on a lake that has a lot of deeper water. And I practiced there last week without any electronics. And it was, I mean, I got to get a good idea for the feel of the lake, but not as well as I could have with some electronics. So my buddy Harry has the same kayak, only the 10-foot version. He uses the same fish finder, the Garmin Striker 4, but he has his transducer mounted inside the hull, and I know a lot of people that have done that. So I bought a new transducer, and last night I mounted it down here in the hull, put a good bed of silicone down, and stuck the transducer right in the silicone. Now I'm going to run the wires up through here. I've got a new battery. I ended up getting this awesome 23 amp hour lithium battery from my buddy TJ for a great price. Replaced the old battery I had, which had finally died after, geez, I don't know, 6 years of use. So I'm going to wire that up, and we'll be ready for the tournament this weekend. No, I'm not going to show you the installation of that. I mean, it's a very simple thing, just running the wires through the hull and connecting the batteries. But this will put me in a much better position for the tournament this weekend. So stay tuned for that video. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.